Okay. Oh,
Welcome.
got the
What's going
countdown.
on, folks? How is everybody doing today? You're tuned into another edition of the Indie Review live show, the live stream, and all that. Of course, I am C Truth.
And
And
I am Rachel, aka Coach Rachel, aka Rara, aka I'm done with all the AKs. It's just us, y'all. We're here with another episode. So happy to be here with you. And as usual, let me turn my phone on. As usual, we have I have my resident tea. Today I'm drinking a blend of hibiscus with peppermint and a little bit of dandelion.
okay, all right.
So one day we'll get into all that, what all that goodness is about. But yes, I always have to have my little cup of tea my when we do our show. So welcome, you guys. Feel free to get your Scooby snacks, your drink, whatever it is. Join us in the chat. Um, Follow us. This is going to be airing live. This is currently live on Facebook and YouTube. So make sure that you tune in there. And we do have a chat here. Let me sign on to that so I can
Yes,
help
indeed,
y'all.
absolutely. Yeah, and while she does that, I want to say rest in power to Mr. John Amos, who unfortunately has left us at this particular moment. But if you don't know who that is, he was an actor who was most known for his role in Good Times,
Mm-hmm.
the sitcom that came out in the 70s, which was groundbreaking as far as what they covered, the social issues and stuff like that. And he was a very integral part on that show as far as showing a black father with a black mother and the whole entire, family that was coming up in the projects. So, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
And
We can hear you typing, Ray. We can hear you typing, Ray.
I'm sorry. I was just letting folks know that we were live and that they can hop on, tune into the show, and join us in the chat.
No, well, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. So, rest in power to Mr. John Amos. So, I
for
just wanted
sure.
to
For
kick it
sure.
kick it off with that.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have to send greetings to everyone in the whole wide world because that's what we do here at Indie Review. That's what you do.
No question. Yes, yes, that's what I do. And without further ado, let me say to everybody checking us out, no matter who you are or where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good night, buenas noches, buenos dias, konnichiwa, namaste, sakpase, uh, sakafet, assalamu alaikum, alafia, good day, neho ma, bonjour, bonsoir, what up, son, what up, do, bon dia, alito, askaske, what the business is, where you at, nef, Fabubona, Suwabona, Sowote, Mujukwe, Bienvenue, Que Paso, Que Pasa, Nangadef, Hilo, Hafa, Ahoy, Aloha, what it do, what's cracking, no more
All
ska.
that.
And let's see, did I leave anything out?
I think you got
That's it.
everything.
That's it for
See?
now. That's it for now. That's it
Oh,
for
I
now.
did you say Wazam? That's that New Orleans greeting.
Oh, what was that?
Wazam.
Oh, I don't got that one. We'll get that one next time. We'll get one that next
Right,
time.
right. And you guys check it out. If you have a greeting that you say around your way and we don't include it in our greeting, let us know so we can say hi to your folks as well.
No question. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing today, Ray? What's going
You know
on?
what?
What's
Today
cracking?
I'm good. It's beautiful here. I am my house is turned into a dog sitting facility. I got puppies running all over the place, but we're gonna keep it hush hush today. We're gonna keep the puppies quiet today. But I am well. See, it's so good to be in Atlanta. Um, I'll be headed back to Louisiana at some point shortly, but it's really good to be here. And I hope that everyone was okay after the storm that we had since we last spoke. Um, there was some weather that came through here, so I'm hoping everybody's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Some people suffered some really devastating losses. There are still people that are unaccounted for. So even though we weren't bombarded, hit super hard, we still have to keep those people in our prayers. Some
Oh,
folks are
no,
still
no
without
question.
power. There's a lot going on. So let's be mindful.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. No question. Yes. So, one of the things that we're going to be tackling today is the whole technology situation, right? technology and its effects on education. Is technology hurting education? Is what we're talking about. That's what we're dealing with today, and that's what we want everybody to chime in on
Yes.
and share your opinions and share your thoughts on that.
And we have a lot of teachers and educators that follow us both. So if you guys care to chime into that, that would be super awesome. And parents, I mean, too, like you guys have this experience every day. I know that. And just really quickly, let me just read a couple of stats. So the reality about, especially as it pertains to social media, right? Meaning like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those things, 40% of all people ages 18 to 22 are addicted to social media.
Mm.
What does that look like, right? How does someone's personal addiction affect us in our day to day? Well, some people might say people are texting and driving. Lots of accidents happen from people texting and driving. Because the thing is, it's one thing to be addicted to the phone, right? Some people are always on the phone talking for business or what have you, but it's something separate to be distracted. When you're driving and you're texting and you're talking or people said the same thing about women putting on makeup. Whatever it is that distracts you while you're driving is not a good thing. So social media, we'll throw that in the mix. 40% of all adults between the ages of 18 and 22 are addicted to social media. So if you guys have any experience with that or any insight to that, we would love to hear about it. Just join us in the chat room and we'll chop it up. The other thing is there's a couple of there's some downside, of course, right? So cyberbullying, we've talked about that before. We've had cases where people have been seriously hurt or even taken their lives due to cyberbullying. Social anxiety is another thing that people experience when it comes to some of the downsides of social media. Let me see here. So we have depression. That's another one, right? And exposure to lots and lots of personal information. That's really right.
Yeah.
So
I think that's, not to cut you off, but I think that's one of the reasons why there's so much fraud going on these days, and why this, especially when you have a digital footprint, it's easy to gain your information, especially when you're giving it away.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And then not to mention that children don't really know how to navigate around that so some of us may have the wherewithal to see something and identify it as inappropriate, identify it as a scam, identify it as suspect. Kids don't always have the ability to do that. And I'm really surprised at how many parents, just through conversation, do not have parental controls on their children's phones.
wow.
Or their laptops.
That should be the number one thing when you have children, is to make sure that you have those particular
It's amazing
guidelines, because there are predators out here, and
for sure.
Predators use every means that they can, just like any criminal.
That's right.
Every means that they could use, they're going to do that.
That's right. And it's like, who are your children talking to? And parents, the notion that they are always, that you watch, but if your children are spending hours on their iPad while you're doing other things, you really don't have the ability to watch over the things that they're doing and the people that they're talking to. That just doesn't happen that way. So we're not always with them. So I think that's where the parental controls come in, right? But yeah, I definitely want to hear from some teachers too and their experience as it pertains to, how kids are learning differently. And I know that kids are not, so there's some new laws this year regarding children with their phones.
Oh, so, I know there's like a number, like I know in New Jersey and New York, there were a number of schools, high schools and such, that were trying to actually ban phones altogether. Like you can't bring them, or you can't use them while you're in school, like period, like no exceptions at all. So,
and people were not happy about that. Parents, some parents had an issue with that, and I can understand that, just wanting your child to have access, especially with everything that's happening like beginning of the school year, we had a school shooting. So, it's like that's really, really scary. And you want to know, be able to pick up the phone and call your kids, are you okay? And you want your children to be able to pick up the phone and call you and let you know that they're okay, or to disseminate information in case of an emergency. So I'm not sure what other I don't know how they've worked that out in the school system, but I do know that one of the things they said about not having phones is that there's less fights in school because people don't record it as often. Kids are less distracted. They're a little bit more creative in participating in class and assignments. So I guess it's kind of like, which way to go, which one's better.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I
And we
mean, I could see that. I could see how you would be more, you're going to be more engaged if you don't have
Yes,
something to take you away from what you're supposed to be either looking at or paying attention to or participating in. So, yeah, I mean, when there wasn't cell phones, right? Let's go back to those times, those
mm-hmm.
ancient times. um, you could still be distracted, right? You could still like, zone out or like write things or, but you didn't have as many tools to distract you,
Right,
back then.
right. I mean, and it's like, what other tools are there? So phones, they don't have iPads at school, but they do have the phones, and they do the same thing. So, I have to ask my sister about that and see what she teaches little people, but still, they're on these
It's
games. Some
Listen,
of these games are really, really inappropriate for kids.
and there
Um,
are children like, I mean, 3, 4 years old that have like cell phones and have iPads
yeah,
and
yeah,
have, all of these different technology and access, which is crazy. It's like, how can you give your child access at that
right,
age to like,
right,
I mean, certain things, yes, of course, but to a full wide range of, like, come on now.
right.
That's a little
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and it's, I guess, and I don't know if it's because parents didn't have that uh when they were around, so they don't know the effects of it. I'm not sure. I still remember AOL with the little man running across the screen making that noise. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right, right,
that we had to wait for the phone to be free, you know.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's the way in which you use it. Like, I'm for technology. Like, I'm not
Right.
against technology, but it's the way in which you use it. It's how you use the tool that's very, very important. So you have to get a grasp onto the ways that you're going to do that. So, um, in this day and age, it is important. You do need it, but you can't make it like your crutch. You can't make it like your everything. Like, I don't think that's the way to go.
How do you
Like, you,
think
you still need that human influence and that interaction, um, while you still can use technology as a tool.
so, from someone that's been doing radio for years and years and years and dealing with musicians, how do you think social media has been a asset or a liability for musicians?
Well, as an asset, like, straight up, I mean, you can take things, either instruments themselves or actually equipment and things like that. Like, you don't have to lug around like whole pieces of crates and equipment and instruments and things like that. You can use or take those sounds and put them onto a technology device or piece and get the sound and use the sound in that way and that mean. So it helps, and you don't have to, lug around all of this heavy equipment. It also helps in the fact that if you're a musician, you have a lot of tools at your disposal where you can um, mix your creations and your music and stuff like that. And even if you're not going to do it professionally, like, you can do pre-mixes and pre-mastering and things like that. You can have a lot more at your fingertips as an artist, as a musician, with technology to kind of help you out before you go to the next step or the bigger professional that would master your material or stuff like that. So it helps out. It creates a lot of shortcuts for you and a lot of meaningful tools. Radio wise, it gives you a lot more avenues to actually put out your show with the different media that you do, whether it be streaming, whether it be social media platforms, podcasting, et cetera, et cetera. Technology helps with giving you a way to put all that, or actually not put all that, but use all of those different tools to get your particular show, your particular medium out there to the general public. So technology helps in all those fashions, for musicians and for people that do media and for people that do radio and such. You have a lot more options where you don't have to go to XYZ. You could, cut off a couple of people that, aren't necessarily going to, help you or be good for your process.
I think that social media has become such a huge part in promoting the brand, right? And I feel like the key is finding the right messaging. And you have to do it thinking that people only tap in for 40 seconds or less, right? It's like, how do we get folks to engage when I only have their attention for 40 characters or less? I think videos coming up in social media have made a big, big difference. Because now people engage a little bit more. They engage a little bit more. So with videos, they can hop in there and get involved in the music, feel the vibe. But yeah, I feel like when you have limited folks, it's a little tricky.
And with videos, as an artist, that's one of the tools that you have in your toolbox, where you can actually take technology digitally and you can make videos for your music or your particular projects more readily and more easier than having to get somebody to bring in a camera and do this and edit. Like there's different technology tools that you can use to edit videos and to like shoot videos on your own and stuff like that, and if you have a good piece of technology, of equipment, HD and all that type of stuff, you could do some really high quality work where you can do most of the stuff yourself. I mean, you still may need somebody to do other things with that, but you can do most of it yourself. Self-contained unit.
Yeah, I'm going to see if my sister, who teaches music, by the way, with little people, I'd be interested to know her feedback on technology. So in her classroom, they all have keyboards, and then she has the big screen where they do lessons, right? And little people, they learn so differently now, since social media for some of them have been the first way to learn, if that makes sense. Like my grandniece, who's 2 years old,
right,
when she watches the television and a commercial comes on, she tries to swipe the TV. She tries to swipe it so that the commercial goes away.
Right.
She's 2.
Right. Yeah, but that's and a lot of children those ages, 2, 3, whatever, they have the iPads, and that's how they're learning, through those means, and that's cool. But you gotta be wary and put some guidelines around it overall.
I was thinking about so which brings me to think about AI, for example.
Yeah, AI. As far as not that's the negative side.
Well, some people look at it as a positive, though.
For some people,
right?
Yeah, for some people, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, some people look at it as a positive when it comes to writing and information. It is definitely, if you have an idea about something and you want to just drop in a couple of notes in there and just an idea, boom, they spit out a whole whatever. And it's like, whoa. Even teachers, college professors, I've had conversations with them about, how they have to now be trained on how to know if a paper was done by AI.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because they can do a whole paper, presentations, one sheets, press releases,
it opens
all of that.
It opens up the lane for fraud, which is why a lot of people don't like AI and how it's used. And also, intellectual property wise,
For
if
sure.
you have a voice or an image or any of that kind of stuff, you want to retain the rights to that and not have someone just, I'm gonna use AI to just duplicate your voice or your image and whatever for whatever purpose, and then you're like X out of that whole thing. Like, nah,
Right.
nah, nah.
Right.
That's why there was such a big fight, and there's still a big fight over laws and intellectual property laws as far as AI goes and how it's used and how you have to, give the rights or provide the rights or, give people a lane in order to use that in the AI space,
It's going to be interesting to see how they incorporate that into the music business too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Production wise, writing, lyrics, like now you don't even need a ghostwriter. You have AI, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. And they've
you
already
know,
been using that and been doing that in some cases and whatnot for remixes and things like that. So
yeah, that's interesting. But especially with the production side, I'm familiar with AI, verbiage, like people being able to type something in and get words.
right.
I would imagine that it's smart enough. I was smart enough to duplicate music as well.
Oh, no
Maybe
question.
maybe a way to move around samples without having to get clearance, right? If you get the right,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah.
Tricky,
Maybe we'll see.
tricky.
We'll see.
I was an article that I read talked about, it was two gentlemen talking about the pros and cons. And one of them stated that AI, he felt like AI was on the verge of being a little dangerous.
Mhm.
The other guy's point, which was a valid point, was we've always had technology that we've been able to utilize to forward us in life. But his point was, yes, but the technology operated based on what we told it to do.
Right.
AI does what it wants to do. No
Right.
one has to tell it what to do. So hence artificial intelligence, right?
Right.
So I thought that was a really interesting take. I had never heard anyone quite explain it that way,
Hmm.
but that's what it is.
Right. Right. And of course, there's a big strike right now with all the people that are working the docks and working all of the areas along the East Coast and the Gulf Coast where all the products and the shipments come in
Right.
that gives us the goods and services. And their big gripe also is over technology and not, totally, completely having all of the docks and those areas of shipment be just totally technology without any people. Like
Right.
that's their big fight because obviously they'll be out of jobs if that's the case. So and that's also dangerous too because I would never want that to be totally digitized or technology um, mapped out either because there's always a room or a piece for something to go bad or for some error to happen.
Right.
Nothing's 100% proof.
Right.
Even AI, even tech, there's something that can go wrong, and we've seen it. So you don't
Yeah.
want to put those type of things where you have either. I mean, look what happened some time ago in Baltimore with that ship that ran into the bridge, and unfortunately, some people are no longer here because of that. But things like that can still happen whether you
It
have
can.
people manning the ports or if you have technology manning the ports. Things can go crazy. So you always want some safeguards and safeties and something to make sure that you can account for those particular things. And if something does go wrong, like something's there. So
Like on iRobot.
yeah, exactly.
Remember iRobot?
Exactly. I do.
Those robots were doing their own thing. They were about to take over
Yeah,
the
yeah.
world.
That's here now. That's here
So
now.
crazy.
So that movie was like, okay, this is where we are right now. Like
And
it wasn't
it
really a
didn't
movie.
seem realistic because it seemed so far in the future when it came out.
Right.
And now here we are.
Exactly. Exactly. No question. No question.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you guys, if you want to chime into the conversation, feel free. I feel like there's so many different facets. Everyone has a different experience. everyone sees social media, modern technology, AI through a different lens, you know. So I'd be curious just to know what it looks like. Oh, also, sidebar, Jetsons. Remember when we used to watch the Jetsons and there were all these little things and stuff? We were like, oh, that'll never happen, you know.
Right. Self-driving cars.
Self-driving cars, battery operated cars.
All that's here now.
It's here now. The only thing I'm waiting for is like on The Fifth Element.
Oh, which part in that?
Where we had different layers of traffic.
Oh, right.
In the sky, you know.
Yeah, that's
where you could drive. You're like driving up over someone, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be good. I mean, look at the way traffic is now without.
Could you imagine
being in the air like
Could
that?
you imagine?
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
I don't think they would ever do that. Logically, I just don't see how that would work. Traffic wise, with all. Yeah, that's not.
Every time I see one of those cars that go into the water and turn into a boat, it reminds me of what's possible, right? Because so then you have things that hover, right? So that's all that is you're just hovering at a different level over someone else,
right?
But the amount of energy it takes, even for like a helicopter or plane to go in the air, how do you hover that close to someone and not like completely blow them out of the air? You know what I mean?
There's so much room for like more accidents and stuff like that to happen. Like it's just too much of a hazard, I think.
Right.
That too much of a hazard. I mean, and when you talk about people, I mean, people can't drive now. So you want people to actually go hover in the air and come on now.
Right.
I mean, there are planes, right? Airplanes right now with trained pilots that crash, hit each other when they're not even in the air, like when they like are landing. So can you imagine like regular people
right
to navigate all that stuff? Nah. Not that we don't have the technology to do it. I don't think it's safe for the regular citizen to navigate that stuff. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really super duper futuristic. But yeah, you know. So we have someone that's going to join us in a little while. She wants to speak to us about social media. She's a mom.
Oh, who's that?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know what that is. What that noise was.
Okay.
That was interesting, huh? So should we see this? The computer says, "Don't talk about me."
Right.
Don't be talking about me and my cousins up here. But there's a young lady that may call in at some point for the show, but her daughter is an artist.
Oh,
she's a young artist. She's 9 years old.
She's here now joining us. Her name is Danny.
Hey, Danny.
Danny, turn your camera on. There's no time to get ready.
We can't see you, girl.
You're on. Come on, Danny. Let's go. Let's go, Danny.
I hear you clicking on something. The camera.
Okay. Let's let her get herself together.
Okay. Yeah. So we had a conversation as well about the big conversation around the games that kids play now, like Roblox.
Ooh, Roblox. Wow. There's so much in there. And so many.
You'd be surprised to see how many parents don't know that.
And there are so many children that play Roblox from a wide age range too. It's not just children. Yes. I mean, the age range is really just crazy. Okay, let's see if we got Danny. She got herself together and she's in a good spot, and she followed directions like we told her what she needs to do before she comes on air. Let's see. What's up, Danny?
Hey, girl.
Hi. Not quite, because I'm in a car, but I'm not driving.
No problem. We got you, girl.
You guys look clear. Can you hear me clear?
Yes, and we can see you too. Thank you so much for chiming in.
Oh, so no problem. Thank you for having me.
We just started talking about Roblox. but there's a couple of things that we talked about previously, and you'll be able to chime into this, right? As a mother, right, of not just a 9-year-old, but a superstar that's 9, right? So social media definitely is incorporated into your life on a regular basis, and her life on a regular basis, both from the entertainment side and the part where she's just a child. She's 9, right? So
Yes.
some of the things they say that
Yes.
40% of all adults from 18 to 22 are addicted to social media. That's an addiction. Then it said some of the downsides: cyberbullying, social anxieties, depression, and just so much information that kids don't always know how to decipher when they see it. Do they know if it's a scam? Can they use deductive reasoning in determining this person is safe or not? So those are some of the things that we talked about previously, but we would love to hear your experience with, and tell us a little bit about Royal too before we get started.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Again?
Danny's playing Roblox while she's
Hello?
Okay. Her connection.
Yeah.
It's a little.
It's hard. Yeah, when you're traveling, it's hard to.
She got the janky promoters connection.
I know, right? Like
Russell Reds and Jelly Roll.
maybe she's in the boondocks, because
Okay.
in Atlanta, ain't no telling.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Where are you right now, then?
Uh-oh.
Hey, girl.
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I was trying to unmute, but I'm not sure if you had me muted. I apologize.
No
you guys
worries.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
I was saying,
as you mentioned.
I was saying, tell us a little bit about Rose, and then share with us your take on her interaction with social media, both from a professional and a civilian, if you will, perspective.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Rural Rose. That's her real name, by the way. She is 9 years old. She's a singer, rapper, actress, and she dances, because she choreographs all of her dance routines. And she's currently been on an ongoing concert tour with That Girl Lele. That Girl Lele. She's a Nickelodeon child star for well over 10 years. So my daughter has been on her concert tour for the last year and a half. And then Royal is in the 4th grade. And when we started her child entertainment career, Royal was in the 2nd grade. So social media is what's prevalent right now, of course, in order to be successful currently in the entertainment world, because that's where we're at right now.
Right.
It's with social media. So I had to create an Instagram page for her. She could have a presence on Instagram. I had to create a TikTok. I had to create YouTube and all these social channels. And I myself, I used to be an actress and a working actress, and I didn't have to have these social media outlets for me to have some type of presence in that world. So when I created for my daughter, I was kind of confused. Like, okay, do I kind of let her handle it and let people see her and her personality, or what am I using this for? And then when I was able to grasp and see what this is about, it's like, okay, this is kind of more so like her electronic resume. When I capture content of my daughter, this is a platform where people can go and see it. So once I realized that's what it was, I'm like, okay, she doesn't have to be on it herself, because number one, she's just a kid.
Right.
And the internet is not meant for kids to be on the internet.
Right.
It's just not. The internet is, I explain to the world all the time. It was www dot when it first started, correct? And www dot stands for World Wide Web. That means this is a portal to have access to information across the world. as wide as it was stretched. So why does this platform need to be accessible for children? So Royal she has social media presence, but I control her pages. Now, when we first got started, she did have a TikTok because she's a dancer. She loves to dance.
Right.
When you look at Royal shows, her backup dancer, Royal choreographs all of her routines, and her dancers do help as well, but she has kid dancers. So when I say this girl loves to dance, and TikTok started off, I believe, a place for dancers.
Yes.
Before it turned into this like crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of crazy. I don't know what I don't have a TikTok, so it's just a lot, right? But she was on her TikTok actually dancing, and I would be there as a parent monitoring her TikTok. And Royal grew her own TikTok to 36,000 followers.
Wow.
Within less than a year, and we weren't even putting her content, her entertainment or music stuff content on TikTok. Wow. Because we weren't really deep into her music and her kid entertainment stuff. But either way, I'm saying that to say she grew it herself just by keeping up with the algorithm, dancing on TikTok twice a day. And then all of a sudden, she was like, Mommy, I can't get on TikTok anymore. I'm like, what? And they had banned her accounts.
Why?
And they banned her account. They said we had to submit an ID that she needed to be 15 years old.
Oh, the age, right.
Her age.
Right.
And then I showed that to her, and I was disappointed because I was about to completely delete most of her old dance videos and post her actual content for her Royal Rose kid entertainment stuff that she actually does, like for her electronic resume, her performances, her concert stuff with Lele, her school tours that she does with V103. And just when I was about to transfer her content over, her page got banned. And I did go through the appeal process. Like, no, I'm her mom. I control it. Although I let her do these dance videos, but they still said no, because TikTok was saying we don't want to see little kids under the age of 15, because that's a requirement. Have a presence on TikTok if there's not an adult in the video.
So have you seen anything or come across anything in your time with her, posting for her, managing her page, that would be alarming for her age to see, like whether it's comments or someone, tagging her in something?
Oh, yes. Yeah, most definitely. So once they banned that TikTok, we had to create a whole new TikTok. And this TikTok, I had to recreate from scratch. So now I'm in complete control. Royal is not on there dancing. It's just I upload content that I'm actually shooting of Royal myself.
Okay.
If it's her school tour stuff or if it's her modeling stuff, things like that, you won't really see dance videos. But then now that she has somewhat of a presence in the kid entertainment world, the DMs are horrible.
Oh gosh.
I actually have her messaging blocked.
Okay, that's
and
smart.
It's just from, some of it could be kids, some of it's adults. It's like weirdos in the DMs. It's kids saying mean things. It's just horrible. So it makes me think like, wow, the parents who don't have their kids' DMs, their messaging turned off, the parents who aren't monitoring their kids' TikToks, the things that they're being exposed, it's like social media bullying.
Cyberbullying, that's what they call it. Cyberbullying, yeah.
That's what it is. Cyberbullying.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gone away, and it's just, and I ignore, so that's that. So her comments, her inbox is turned off. No one can inbox her, but there's still comments that I have to delete.
Yeah.
There's comments that I have to delete. And then my mom said, well, why don't you just turn her comments off? And I was just like, well, no, because she does have fans.
Right.
And they do like to feel like they can interact. And I reply back like I'm Royal all the time. Like, oh, you came to my school. I love what you have on. When can you come back to my school? And I love your music. You inspire me. So it's like, you don't want to turn the comments off because, she does have a fan base that want to feel like, okay, because if you turn the comments off completely, then the fans will kind of go away because they're like, they want to feel like this is royal.
That they're connecting to her.
That they're
for
connecting
sure.
to, but
For
it's
sure.
really
For
me.
sure.
But it's that way across the board with her. Her Instagram is more prevalent because that's where most of her followers are getting on.
And that's the entertainment stuff. What about her personal stuff? Like, does she get personal time on social media? Like, how do you feel about that? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, well, no, I'm shaking my head no, but I just had a conversation with her yesterday because I did mention this to another parent friend of mine. I will say, Royal is not on social media. I don't allow her to be on social media because I am on it all day long
And she's busy. She's a working star. So yeah.
She's a working star, but just being on it all day, all night as a momager, seeing all these horrible comments and it's just weird stuff. Like I see how kids, when I see on the news or I get an Amber Alert, like, oh, a kid went missing,
it's scary.
My mind immediately goes to
social media.
Someone got that kid off of social media.
Yeah. Well, Danny,
they're not being kidnapped from walking down the streets.
Right. They met someone that they didn't know, and it was and it happens all the time. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna keep you. I see you're ripping and running, but I want to thank you for calling in. And
thank you for having me.
We're gonna have Rose come on. We're gonna set aside some time for her to come on and talk to us and introduce herself and talk a little bit about what she's doing out here on these school tours.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. But but before you let me up, and I'm sorry that I joined late, I just want to say to all the parents out there, please get your children off of social media.
Wow.
It is a time and a place for that. I mean, would you let your child date before the age of 16?
Right.
I mean, it's just social is social, right?
Yeah,
and
it's true.
When you do let your child date whenever that age is appropriate for you as a parent, you feel like, okay, well, she's ready to date because I'm able to see and be there and monitor. You're not able to see everything that your son or daughter is doing.
That's true.
On their electronic device.
So girl, this is going to be recorded.
It's scary.
This is going to be recorded. It's going to run on YouTube and Facebook. And we're going to take that one little piece right there. It says, Danny says, get your kids off of social media.
Yeah, it's
but we have another guest getting ready to hop on. So I'm going to have to let you run. But thank you so much. It's good to finally see your face too, because we've spoken so much. But we'll talk very, very soon, girl. And I'll let you know when we can get
Royal on. Okay.
We'll play some Roblox with you next time.
Don't listen to See True. Take care, girl. See you next time.
Thank you all.
Take care. All right.
Such a poignant message, right?
Yeah.
Just like for her, it's like your kids are not supposed to be on social media. Right. Get your kids off of social media.
Technology is a tool, right?
Yeah.
So you don't do things differently just because it's technology. You use the same logic, the same theories that you would do in real life, and you apply them to technology also.
That's right.
It's a tool.
Same common sense.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. But right now, joining us, we have someone that we both know very well. There's a big festival going on in New York City coming really, really soon. It's called the Conch International Film Festival. And joining us right now is the person who's putting this on, directing the whole thing and coordinating it. And, it's a heavy task. And of course, there's a team as well. But, we have Magaly Colimon.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
It's been a minute.
It's been more than a minute. Too many minutes.
And you've been
happy
busy.
to see you. I've been busy. Busy.
Yeah. Well, listen, we can't
wait.
So
good to see you.
I know it's been a while. And gosh, I remember when you first started the festival. And now we've evolved into.
You were with me. You were right there.
Yes. And now you're first it was virtual, now it's in person. And that has to be exciting. So tell us about the festival. For those who are not familiar with the festival, please, share.
Okay. So at Conch Productions, that's the company presenting Conch International Film Festival. Our mission is to highlight the voices of Caribbean heritage writers in film and in theater. Our film festival is happening October 10 to 13 in Forest Hills, Queens at Midway Cinema on Queens Boulevard. And for those of you from Queens, you're like, I know where that is. From those of you who are not from Queens, it's a lovely neighborhood for you to hang out, see some amazing films, and get some yummy food to eat and have a good time. A good time with our filmmakers. We're going to be screening close to 38 films, 11
Wow.
film blocks, films by people of Caribbean heritage. And I'm so excited about sharing that with everyone in a Regal cinema. You know, Regal means comfy chairs, yummy popcorn.
Yes,
that's
yes, yes. Regal, yes,
and
all that.
you go back like this, and you go back like that, and you go back like this, you go like that.
You get
So
to
it's gonna be a
recline.
fun time. You get to recline, you get to sit up. Well, mostly you recline and eat your popcorn and you have your beverage.
That's it.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to creating this space for our community to celebrate and for everyone to celebrate the unique voices of the Caribbean heritage writer. I say Caribbean heritage because it's not just Caribbean American, it's not just Caribbean Canadian, it's the Caribbean. It's anybody living on the planet who has Caribbean ancestry, as well as people living in the Caribbean proper. We are focusing on their voices. And not only are we doing film screenings, we're doing panels. So panels are like my favorite part of any film festival, right? Because that's where you get to hear the artist talk. Yeah, it's like you get to see the artist talk, and we're going to have these cool panels, one about how to shoot on a really low budget, another one about the relationship between that one is being moderated by Cedric Hill. Another one about the relationship between the actor and the director that's being moderated by Melvin James. Another one about impact producing, which is basically understanding you're producing, but how are you going to be affecting the world? That's going to be moderated by Alexandra Foucault. And of course, C. Truth and I are going to be moderating a conversation with the filmmakers talking about, there you go, talking about, you know, how do these filmmakers tell their stories in their own way? We have another amazing one talking about the future of Caribbean cinema being moderated by Victoria Isabella V. King. And we have, let me see, Stacey Holman. Now, of course, we're talking about filmmakers from the Caribbean. Filmmakers from the Caribbean, that means you're shooting abroad. How many Caribbean Americans have shot abroad? And so we're going to be talking about the whole journey of shooting in other nations and the things you have to be prepared to tackle in order to achieve that goal. And we have this amazing conversation on Conch LIFF that we had with Clarice Albrecht, who's the writer and producer of Bantu Mama, that's on Netflix right now, that was distributed by Array. And she was talking about, you know, the journey of, you know, shooting in the Dominican Republic. And there's so many people shooting abroad, and I've never shot abroad. So I'm really looking forward to Stacey Holman's conversation. And we also have we have 2 workshops, and we have a filmmaker pitch session.
Oh, so, I love that. I love that.
I'm so excited about that. That's the first time we've ever done that. So 2 screenwriters are going to be pitching their scripts to a panel of producers. And it's kind of like Shark Tank meets film.
Right.
And I'm really looking forward to that.
Who are they pitching to?
Wait. They're pitching to Steve Harper. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out right now. Steve Harper, and I have to look it up on the website.
But it's okay. I mean, are they pitching to people that have the ability to greenlight their film? Okay, got you.
So actually, here's the focus of the Pitch Fest, right? These filmmakers are pitching their project. They're going to be getting feedback from the panelists, and a panelist could say, you know what, I want to mentor you to help you get your pitch to where it needs to go, if the panelist wants to. And if more than one panelist says, yes, that's the Shark Tank part of it, then the writer gets to decide who they want to work with to get their pitch to the next level. And we have an award sponsor who's providing the best pitch, because they're going to vote on the best pitch with a pitch deck. So they're going to design a pitch deck. It's like a $2,000 worth prize.
That's big.
And so a pitch deck is so really important. It's such a big deal. So I have to say, I'm totally excited about sharing who this person will be when we go to our opening night. So, our opening night is October 10th. So, if you want to find out who the award presenter is, you have to come to our opening night because I'm going to be blasting them on our opening night event. But, if you go to our website, you can figure it out. It's everything social. Okay, I gave it away. I gave it away. But the thing I really am excited about the festival is how people came out to support us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like C Truth.
And what year is
one
this,
of our
Magaly?
media partners.
What is this?
3.
2 year? 3 year? 3 year? 3. Okay.
Where's my finger? Yeah, year 3.
Okay.
I'm like, where's the camera? I don't know.
Yeah, 3. Okay.
Yeah, it's year 3, and it's our first in-person year. And it was basically in response to the filmmakers saying, I wish we could be in person. I mean, this online thing is nice, but can we be in person? Because our first 2 years were on filmocracy.com. And that platform was so amazing because you could meet people in what was literally a Zoom room, but a very well-designed Zoom room that looked like a cafe, and people would have conversations, but people were yearning for that face-to-face interaction because ultimately our industry is about community,
right?
Building community. And I'm grateful to our sponsors, Regal Cinema, that gave us the space. Let me tell you, finding a space to do a film festival is really hard. It's really hard. And so they are one of our corporate sponsors, and Queens Public Library. They are allowing us to present our panels in their space, which allows us to do it as a free option for our community to come for free to learn. And to Resorts World NYC. Do you know there's a casino in New York City?
Yeah.
Did you?
Actually,
know that.
There's a couple actually.
Did not know that.
And they're trying to bring more.
In New York City proper? Wait, in New York City or New York State?
City.
Wow.
Oh, I thought Resorts World was the only one in the city proper. Well, it's really pretty because I've gone to it. It's like big. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's the only one I've ever been to in New York City, and it's huge. And thanks to them, we're going to be in the Big Apple room with our workshops because the workshops have video conferencing, and we have another workshop where people are going to learn how to navigate film commissions and how that can help you with, So that's a very important tool, being able to get all the resources that the film commissions can provide a filmmaker with, tax incentives and other things. So what's really important to me is to not just...
I was going to ask, is there any one filmmaker that you're super duper excited to hear from, to see?
I can't.
Are you allowed to say that?
No, I have to be open and available to all.
Okay.
If I say I want one filmmaker,
I'll ask
then
you
it's
after.
like others are gonna be like, "What about me?" You can ask me.
I'll ask you after.
But, okay. But I really love all the work. We're presenting. Our theme this year is awakening, and I definitely feel the pieces are on that theme, on that wavelength. And
nice.
My goal is to keep our voices in the forefront, not in the niche corner, but in the forefront in American cinema.
Well, you are doing a great, great job. And perhaps we'll have to have some of the filmmakers come on the show after the festival. The winners, if you will, right?
Okay.
Perhaps a short panel discussion about the festival. So it's so good to see your face, and we'll be in touch. Yeah. But
wait. Are we ending? Oh my God.
Yes, we're at the end of the show, girl.
Never can say goodbye. No. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much, Rachel. It's good seeing you.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Have fun.
I'm not gonna throw you a kiss. I'm gonna throw you a high five. High five.
And for those that want more info, as you can see, streaming, scrolling at the bottom is all the information for Conch.
All right,
come out, everybody.
We'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
So exciting that they're in person after, year 3. That's exciting.
Growth. That's growth.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Well, y'all, we're at the end of another show. Like, I don't know if that went by fast for you, but it kind of went by fast for me.
It did. It did.
But
All I
nonetheless,
know, we were talking about technology and education and all these
yes,
different things and the strike
yes,
at the docks and
yes,
children, get your
yes,
kids off social media and all that, and
yes.
film festival, and then that's the show.
And
We
the
gotta go.
beautiful thing is we can have a separate show on any one of those topics, a part two to
And
any
we
one of
will.
those topics.
And we will.
So
We will.
stay tuned for that for sure. So yes, we're at the end of another show. And as you all know, as our intellectuals, we end our show with a little something that you can take with you throughout the week. And it's called the Daily Slice. It's a small slither of what we call life's cake. And today's Daily Slice is this: doing right by your folks, being in integrity with your word, and coming from a place of authenticity allows your soul to have peace no matter what. Let that sink in. And all it means is just show up in integrity, be honest to yourself, about yourself, for yourself. And that way, your no's mean no. You don't have to feel bad about your no's, and you don't have to feel bad about your yeses, and that's really it. Doing right by your folks, being in integrity with your word, and coming from a place of authenticity allows your soul to have peace no matter what. What do you think about that, C?
I think that's right on time and excellent thing to put into focus, put into practice, put into use, and to definitely cake every day, right? Daily slice. I mean, use this every day.
Every day. And the thing
Every
is,
day.
a lot of, and that's specifically for people that always second guess their decisions. Like, did I do the right thing? So if you know that you're operating in integrity, when you say no, it's okay to say no. When you say yes, and as long as it doesn't mean no to you in any way, shape, or form, it's okay to be a yes, right? So that's all that is, just being in integrity. So your spirit sits well with your decisions around yourself and the people in your life. So that is it, y'all. That is our cake every day, our daily slice for the week. And as always, C Truth and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Stay tuned. We're going to get into a regular routine at some point or not. We'll see.
Right.
Most likely.
We kind of sort of had of.
Yeah.
Been, doing it as we feel it out.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, your input makes a difference. So, if there's something that you want to hear or speak on, or a particular time that works for you, yeah, come holler.
Exactly. And big ups to all the people who are going to be seeing this, streaming this, after the live, because a lot of people watch things and will be watching this, when it's all said and done, and at a later time and place, which is cool too. So big ups to all of y'all that's doing that right now. What's going on? What's happening? Be sure to pick and choose your battles wisely, so you may return another day to win the war. Don't settle for crumbs. Get the ingredients to make the cake.
That's it, y'all. Till next time. Peace. Have a great week and be safe.
Peace.